Hello, friends, and welcome to the weekly moon update. In these videos, we talk about the moon energy and a little bit of astrology for the current week. In this video's case, we are talking about the week of April 7th through the 13th. So this is the first official full week of April. We have a full moon week, which when I was getting ready to do this video, I was like, didn't we just have the solar eclipse? But here we are with a full moon. And we also have Mercury going direct this week and Venus going direct this week. So thank goodness we're finally getting into that part of April that feels so good and so much better than what we were dealing with in March and the beginning of this year, pretty much. So we've got a lot to talk about today. Let's jump into the moon energy for this week. Okay, so our full moon is not until Saturday of this week. So for that means for the pretty much the entirety of the week of a waxing gibbous moon, you can see there's just this little sliver of light that is dark on the left side of the moon. So it's slowly going to increase until it's 100% full on Saturday. And then it will start to decrease with a waning gibbous moon, and the right side of the moon is going to be dark. So we have a lot of energy this week. And remember, last week was this week of like recovery and recuperation from the solar eclipse. So by now, and especially by this Libra full moon, is when I think we're really going to finally feel this big relief and feel like things are finally balancing out. This is a Libra full moon. So this is a time to be like letting things settle, and and Venus is going direct right on the same time as the full moon. Mercury goes direct on Monday. So we're going to be with Mercury going direct, technology is going to start working again. Your words are going to start coming out of your mouth easier and not like all jumbly, and or maybe like Mercury in Aries is very like quick-witted and kind of maybe saying things that you shouldn't say. So being careful with what you're saying, because it might get a little bit too hot too quick, and maybe the other person doesn't receive it well, especially when Mercury is retrograde. And then with Venus going direct, we're going to finally see, I think, some relief in the relationship department. And this can be like the relationship with your partner, the relationship with any of the people in your life, friendships, family members, romantic partners. But this can also be like your relationship to yourself and your relationship to spirit. This is just how you and something else interacts with the other. And with Aries, again, this is very heated energy. It's very hot and heavy, romantic kind of energy, but it's also can be like very volatile and abrasive. So Venus is going to hang out in Aries for a while. I think the same thing with Mercury also. Yeah, Mercury doesn't enter Taurus until May 10th, and Venus doesn't go into Taurus until June 6th. So both of those signs are going to be hanging out in Aries for a little while. For the most part, Venus and Mercury kind of hang out in a sign for about a month, but because it was retrograde, this kind of prolongs staying in a sign. The same thing is going on with Mars too, but Mars is stuck hanging out in Cancer, and will finally move into Leo later this month, I believe. So, anyways, we've got so much heat going on. We had that big solar eclipse 2 weeks ago. And so everything just it feels like this dust is like kicked up in the air. I don't know why I'm saying dust, but it's just like all of this stuff that we're like releasing and letting go of, all of these issues that we need to be dealing with was brought to the surface for, oh, I guess I'm feeling dust because of ashes. Like everything that we burned away at the eclipse is kind of lingering in the air. It's like this cloud. And Libra, an air sign, is going to help, like, I think, allow that dust to finally settle so that, like, those ashes can be composted into the soil and we can grow something new with them. Or I think it can help just like blow away that mental fog and that cloudiness, that it can help us find this clarity again. So a Libra full moon is ruled by Venus. It's interesting that Venus is going direct at this time because I mean Libra's ruled by Venus, and we're talking about heart-centered things, and with things feeling so heated and volatile and kind of chaotic, I think this Libra energy and Venus going direct is going to bring so much relief, like, to our hearts. Like this has hurt. Like this year has hurt. Hasn't it? Hasn't it hurt your heart? Like, gosh, it's been so heartbreaking and heart-wrenching, and it's just one thing after the other over and over again. So, I'm hoping for this sense of relief, and I think this week in general, again, like last week was recuperating. This week feels like finding that clarity and finding like just like you can take a breath again, that you can breathe again, and like things I think and hope are going to start to be making a little bit more sense. Now we do have some more big astrological shifts happening later this summer, but I think April in general is just like this reprieve from eclipse season from the beginning of this year, and kind of like just allowing us to recalibrate and move forward. So anyways, we are we have so much to talk about today. So again, we are starting off with Leo energy today. Mercury's going direct, or Monday, Mercury's going direct today as well, which just we just love when Mercury goes direct, don't we? And we'll be in Leo energy all day Monday, and we will transition into Virgo earlier in the morning Tuesday. So a Leo Monday is, picking like tonight, if you're watching this live on Sunday at 8:30, pick out your favorite outfit that pick out an outfit that like makes you feel good, that makes you feel like yourself, that makes you feel comfortable in your own skin. Pick out something that like makes you feel confident, and start your week off with some Leo energy. Again, whenever there's a Leo week, I always am like, "Oh, I forgot to put on lipstick." Like it's the silliest thing, but it satisfies the moon, which satisfies our emotions, which in my opinion just makes the day better. This is why I follow the moon, because my emotions are all over the place. I'm an empath and I feel other people's energy. So if I can focus on the moon's energy, it's like checking off this list, and it just feels so satisfying to just like be in control of like my own emotions. Anyway, so we'll be in Leo energy all day Monday, moving into Virgo Tuesday morning by 9:40 a.m. So if you're going to start off your day, because the moon will start to transition right after midnight, you'll start off your day in that void of course energy, which is really kind of like an absence of an energy. So a lot of times I feel like we really feel the absence of the energy, but a lot of times it also feels a little bit confusing sometimes. So it might be a slow start to your morning. Like if you like your morning commute might feel weird or off. And then like maybe if your start time for work is 9 a.m., you might like find that you're not even like getting anything started or done until like later, like 40 minutes later. I don't know. Void of course energy is just kind of weird energy. And then we're in Virgo, and Virgo's like, okay, let's get shit organized. Like you were feeling too fancy on Monday and worrying about how you looked and worrying about like you were socializing too much at work, and Virgo's like, okay, now we gotta get down to business. We gotta get the things done, check the things off the list, get organized. Remember, this is a wax and gibbous moon, so there's lots of energy. So this is like Tuesday and Wednesday feels like we are checking off all of those to-dos, like a lot of them, because it's a lot of energy. Remember, we had our Virgo lunar eclipse a month ago, almost a month ago. So, whatever things kind of came up that needed to be compartmentalized for you, you might feel that difference and that shift of like how you approach things, how you organize things, how you tackle tasks. Just kind of pay attention to like what that might feel like for you. I know I talk a lot about like the sign that is closing out the moon cycle. But the same can go for the full moons too. We had our Virgo full moon last month, and when we move into Libra on Thursday, this is putting us into that full moon energy. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is like kind of closing out that full moon cycle, that lunar eclipse in Virgo that we had last month. So Thursday, late afternoon, and then by 9:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we've moved into Libra. So this is going to be our full moon energy. And if you take a look outside around this time, it's probably going to look full, even though it's not officially full until 8:21 p.m. Saturday night. So Thursday night is a good time to do your full moon activities. Friday night's a good night to do your full moon activities. Dang, and even Saturday night is a good night to do your full moon activities. However, Sunday, even though the moon is still going to probably look full, even though it's slightly decreasing on that right side, you can see this long transition. Oh, you can't see this long transition. You can see this long. Oh, it's not going to let me. You can see this long transition from 10 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night is when the moon will move into Scorpio. So if you want to do full moon shit, do it Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Sunday, we will technically be in Scorpio or void, of course. So let's take a look at our Libra energy. We've got, so how this exercise works is dividing your life into pieces of a pie. Well, first of all, like I would make a list of like what areas are important to you. So say like family, work, creativity, spirituality. I'm just gonna start with those four. So we look at the dream slice of life here. Ideally, we want all four of those things equally distributed. We want to have 25% devoted to family, or maybe you don't. Maybe you think that like 50% of your life should be devoted to family. And then that would mean you have to, I don't know, divide one of these up a little bit. So filling out this like a pie chart with how your ideal life looks like, but then actually do a realistic area. Maybe it's like, I mean, for most of us, it's probably more like work is 50% of our life, and family, creativity, and spirituality. I don't know. Let's see. I bet for me, spirituality is like a little bit bigger. And then this poor little creativity slice here that because I never we never get to work on anything creative. Let's say this is family and spirituality. And that's not bad, but I would prefer to have, 50% be creativity. Like, so kind of comparing to what your current life is like and how can you make these two look a little bit more similar? Like they're opposite right now. Like we spend so much of our lives working, like we don't want it to be like that. But you want to find, so Libra helps us. How do we find the time and space and energy to have a more work-life balance? So it's just a visual representation of what your life looks like. So that is the Libra full moon exercise. So again, like Libra is about finding balance, but I also feel like this moon is helping let the things settle that needs to settle and be recomposted, and clearing away the things that, we let go of. Because it does kind of feel like everything's kind of like floating up in the air right now. So a good time to do those exercises again is Thursday evening, Friday evening, or Saturday evening. It feels like a long time to be in Libra, but I love Libra energy. It's just, I like to have things balanced. Like that's what we're always trying to create. So it's nice to have this big, bright, full moon help us to do that. And look at this beautiful card that we have for this week, Transformation. I had to check and see. I was like, this feels like a Gemini card. And I had to check and see if, like, we haven't even entered Taurus season yet, but Gemini season is after Taurus season. And now that I just say that, now I have to check again because this card screamed Gemini to me when I pulled it. There might be something interesting happening with Jupiter, especially because within the next 2 months, it's going to be moving into Cancer. So it's probably interacting with some of the other planets, and maybe it's highlighting that Gemini energy. And it, just like I say with the like closing out of a moon cycle, we're saying goodbye. We're saying goodbye to the Virgo full moon cycle as we transition into this Libra one. Just like we transition the sign right before the new moon is the sign that we're saying goodbye to. So I wonder if there's some Gemini energy coming up with, as Jupiter is closing out Jupiter is in a sign for 12 years. So this is roughly the same situation as Neptune. So since 2011, 2012. So I don't know. It feels like the last few months that Jupiter is in Gemini, I think might be enhancing that kind of energy. And Jupiter in Gemini is kind of a beautiful energy because Gemini is so playful. It's the butterfly, it's transformation. It's like, it's duality. It's like representing it's representing, there are two sides to every story. Or there's two sides of everything, and that both of them are true, even though they're different. So, and Jupiter being the planet of growth and expansion really emphasizes this transformation that we have all been going through the last 12 years with Neptune and Pisces and Jupiter and Gemini, which it's like Gemini is like, okay, there's the person you are now, the person you are presently, but there's also the person that you are becoming. And then, not to mention, there's also the person that you used to be. So it's like this in between liminal space of like, both of those people are true and real and authentic, but they're not the same. They're different, but they're both true. And it's like, how can two things be true at the same time? And I think you can really, when you're going through a transformational process, you can like see the person that you're becoming, but you're also like, man, I'm still this person now. Like, how do we get there? Anyways, let's read this card. I'm like all over the place today. Not only do we have this beautiful butterfly on here, we also have two dragonflies flying around up there. All right, so positive changes are coming. Old structures, beliefs, and ideas are falling away, and new pathways, and will be replaced with vitality and new pathways. Soon you'll be seeing the world in a fresh way. Fresh is a good word for how the energy of this Libra full moon feels. It just feels like this wind is coming in and like blowing all of that dust and ash away and allowing it to like settle to the ground. Like the phoenix that rises majestically from the ashes, a big change in your life is at hand. You're at the beginning, in the middle, or at the completion of an enormous transformation in your life. Don't hold on to old structures and limited ways of thinking, even if it looks as if you're in murky waters. This is only the clearing that occurs just before rebirth. It's all for your highest good. The affirmation is, I am joyously centered and safe as a wonderful change occurs around me. What a beautiful affirmation. Wow. So I feel like I could have saved myself a lot of time and film footage and breath by just reading that card instead of yabbling on about it. Okay. Anyways, enough said about that card. I think it speaks for itself. And we've got amber as our crystal for today, a stone of wisdom, abundance, and warmth, and deep nurturing energy. It's a protective ally that prevents psychic attacks and repels negative energy. Amber activates the solar plexus chakra, which supports your health and ignites confidence and personal power. The affirmation for this card is, I am confident, nurtured, and protected. What a beautiful and interesting crystal. I know it's not technically a crystal, and what a wonderful, amazing member of our community. I'm kind of going through these cards fast, but there's a reason for it. Okay. So our chakra card is our throat chakra, which I believe is coming up because Mercury is going direct this week. Be heard and be seen. Your voice matters. It longs to be heard. You are here to be seen. Allow your voice to manifest itself into the world, clear, steady, and strong. Hold on to the wisdom that your words hold supreme power. They create your reality and are able to bring light to the world. Speak into being what you most desire. Remember also to use your voice to speak love into being for our planet. What a beautiful card. So again, throat chakra. The crystal is aqua aura quartz, and interesting. And the herb is coltsfoot. Never worked with coltsfoot before. Okay, so I was in a rush to do these cards because look at how this always happens. Look, we've got blue throat chakra in the sky, and then we've got this golden amber color in the butterfly wings. I mean, these cards were meant for us this week. So this week feels so good. Oh my gosh, this week feels so good. Thank goodness, because holy moly, eclipse season was a doozy. But we are through it. We don't have to experience eclipses again until fall. So hopefully we can just like get through these other big astrological shifts this summer. And dang, that's going to take us through the year. This year is flying by. And normally that would like frustrate me, but I think we all want to get through these big transformations. I think we're like ready to get to the other side finally, like we've been feeling this building for so long. I think we're anxious to get to the other side, to get to that threshold so that we can all I'm thinking 2026 is going to be a good year. This year seems to be, kind of digging up those leftover things, those structures